Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. I'm really glad you're here today because we're jumping into something literally everyone thinks about, but honestly, very few people actually master. We're looking at some key source material breaking down financial behavior. Today's whole focus, shifting our mindset. We need to move away from just chasing a high salary to actually keeping and growing our wealth. Because here's the crazy truth. Making money, that's not even the hardest part of life. The absolute hardest part is holding onto it and forcing it to grow.
So let's just dive right into this analysis by looking at a pretty stark contrast. Imagine two people. On one side, you've got someone pulling in a fantastic salary, 1 lakh rupees a month, but they're spending 95,000 of it, right? Then on the other side, you have someone making less than half of that, 40,000 rupees a month, but they have the discipline to actually invest 15,000 of it every single month like clockwork. So I gotta ask you, who is actually richer here? Now, I know it's a rhetorical question, but it instantly shatters this huge illusion we all have that a massive salary automatically makes you wealthy. The person making 40,000 rupees but putting their money to work, they are building an absolute fortress for their future. Meanwhile, our high earner is literally one unexpected emergency away from total disaster. It's a game changer when you realize wealth isn't created by your income. It's created by your habits. Here is our roadmap for financial freedom today. We'll hit income versus real wealth, the invisible trap of expenses, assets versus liabilities, the 5 major investments of the rich, and we'll wrap up with daily habits of financial discipline. All right, let's jump into section 1. Income versus real wealth, the true measure of financial success. You know, you go on social media today and you'll find thousands of people teaching you how to make money. Freelancing, AI, day trading, you name it. But our source material highlights a critical flaw in how we think about this. The real question isn't how much you're earning, it's how much you're actually keeping at the end of the month. If your income goes up, but your savings and investments just stay flat, you're not getting wealthier. You're just becoming a highly paid broke person. The core difference really comes down to how different economic mindsets treat their paycheck the literal second it hits their bank account. The middle-class mindset fulfills desires first. They buy the new phone, go out for that expensive dinner, and then maybe try to save whatever tiny amount is left over. But the rich mindset? They invest first. They pay their future selves before anyone else and only spend what's left over. This one simple flip in the sequence is literally what separates the people who build true wealth from those who just pay bills until they die. Okay, moving to section 2, the invisible trap of expenses, how lifestyle inflation drains wealth. So it's a funny thing, as income rises, expenses just magically rise to match it. It's called lifestyle inflation, and man, social media has absolutely turbocharged this. People aren't spending for their actual needs anymore. They're spending to show others that they're successful. And the tragic irony here is that the harder you try to look rich with designer stuff and heavy EMIs, the deeper you push yourself into financial slavery. People are always scratching their heads wondering, where did all my money go? Well, here's the thing. Money rarely vanishes in one massive catastrophic event. It disappears through micro-leaks. A 200 rupee coffee here, 5 different streaming subscriptions you barely watch, upgrading a perfectly good phone just because the new one has a slightly better camera. It's impulse shopping for instant dopamine hits. On their own, they seem like tiny expenses. But combined, they're the small leaks that will absolutely sink a giant ship over time. I absolutely love this quote from the analysis. If you can't manage 10,000, you won't be able to manage 10 lakhs. It hits the nail on the head. Money is basically a giant magnifying glass for your habits. Think about it. If you have terrible financial discipline when you're broke, suddenly handing you more money isn't going to solve your problems. It's just going to help you go broke much, much faster. Which brings us to section 3, assets versus liabilities, the core philosophy of wealth. Listen, if you take away just one single thing from this entire explainer, let it be this fundamental difference. We absolutely have to understand the difference between the things that make you money and the things that take your money. It's that simple. An asset is basically a machine that puts money into your pocket, even while you're sleeping. A liability, that's a trap that just takes money out of your pocket. The wealthy buy assets. The middle class, they buy liabilities that they mistakenly think are assets. A flashy car that loses 20% of its value the second you drive it off the lot and needs constant maintenance? Yeah, that's not an asset, guys. That is a liability. And really understanding this distinction completely changes how we view debt too. Debt actually isn't inherently evil. The rich use loans as a weapon. They use it as a tool to acquire income-generating assets that pay off the loan and then some. Meanwhile, the middle class uses loans to buy iPhones, fund extravagant weddings, and go on vacations. They literally enslave themselves to EMIs, paying massive interest for things that lose value almost instantly. But you might be thinking, wait, isn't saving my money enough? Nope, not at all. Saving protects you in an emergency for sure, you need it. But leaving all your cash idle in a savings account means inflation is secretly eating away its purchasing power every single year. You're actually losing money. To get wealthy, investing isn't just a nice option, it is a strict, undeniable necessity. Your money absolutely must be put to work. Let's look at how to do that in Section 4. 5 major investments of the rich, where wealth actually grows. The source analysis identifies 5 specific arenas where wealthy individuals deploy their capital. You've got the stock market for long-term compounding, real estate for rental income and value appreciation, business for massive scalability, skills and education for a permanent income upgrade, and finally, multiple income sources for true financial security. Let's break a few of these down real quick, starting with the stock market. The biggest mistake people make here is treating the stock market like a total casino. Chasing random stock tips, day trading, trying to get rich by next Tuesday. The wealthy know that real wealth in the market comes from patience. It comes from long-term compounding in fundamentally strong companies. As the old saying goes, it's about time in the market, not timing the market. Then we have business and real estate. The wealthy buy real estate not just to have a giant, impressive house to show off, but to generate consistent rental income. And when it comes to business, the logic is super straightforward. A job gives you a fixed salary based on your time. You trade hours for dollars. But a business gives you scale. When you actually have ownership, your income is no longer capped by the 24 hours in a day. But hey, what if you don't have the capital to start a massive business or buy real estate just yet? That's where the 4th investment comes in. And honestly, it's probably the most underrated one. Investing in yourself. Literally upgrading your own brain. Look at these skills. Communication, sales and marketing, investing, AI, content creation. Spending money and time to learn these skills provides a permanent upgrade to your earning potential. Remember, you are your greatest asset. All right, bringing it all together in Section 5. Daily habits of financial discipline, building the foundation. None of those grand investments we just talked about are going to happen without actionable daily habits. The sources give us a really clear list to build that foundation. Number 1, aggressively track your micro expenses so you know exactly where every rupee is going. Number 2, automate your investments. Make it so you don't even have to think about it, the money just moves. And number 3, master the art of delaying gratification. Social media is constantly going to sell you shortcuts, right? Fast cars, overnight crypto millionaires, instant success. But real wealth, it's painfully slow at first. It's honestly kind of boring. It's built through strict discipline, immense patience, and thousands of small, smart decisions made consistently over years and years. Which leads us to our final thought for today. The very next time you're about to tap your card or take out a new EMI or buy something just for that quick dopamine hit, I want you to pause and ask yourself this profound question. Am I buying just